Hello, everybody. We are back again, like every time. Welcome to Let's Relate, everybody. Today we got some juicy topics to talk about.
Yes, we do
A lot
indeed.
of a lot of good topics to talk about.
Yes.
But before we start, let's take a sip of coffee.
Oh, I just did that. Let's do it
Uh,
again.
Let's do it again. Let's dink it
All right.
and then slurp it. I guess.
You know, most people say clink, not dink.
No, it's like the Good Mythical Morning logo, right? Dink it, sink it.
I'm just gonna say no to whatever the hell you just said.
What? Dink it, sink it.
Yeah.
It's so they do like these food challenges where they
No. Just
no dink it, sink it.
I hate that. Stop saying it.
Okay.
You know, some people don't like the word moist. Don't say what you just did.
Okay, clink it, sip it. Boo.
No to that too.
Why? Well, you don't like rhythms. It's rhyming. It's all about next generational rhyme. We're trying to get into millennial shit. Like Gen Z crap.
See, I have a thing against rhyming at certain times,
We're
and
too-
it doesn't have to do with this. But I have an issue when I rhyme. Like if I do it intentionally, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I start talking and I accidentally rhyme, I get pissed at myself about it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I get generally annoyed. If I accidentally rhyme,
Okay.
I just get annoyed.
Okay.
Not sure why. Separate, but also don't this clink it.
I'm
sink
gonna
it, think it.
intentionally
No to
rhyme
that.
now, just to kind of, just kind of hit that spot.
Okay.
All right. All right. Dink it,
If-
sink it. Let's go.
If people want to, if you really want to do that, if you really want people to see that, you should wait till we actually record our podcast and video, and they can watch
This
me
is-
get irritated
This is like that.
and give you the side eye of planning to kill you.
It's like
over it.
we're always keeping our audience in mystery. Where we're like, next time, let's give it to video podcast. We're gonna be doing video, and then we don't do it because we clearly haven't set up for it. We promise we'll do it next week. We just we need to get the setup ready.
Sure.
Friday, we're for sure. We're gonna
Definitely, without a doubt.
we're definitely not gonna play GTA down like just when we hang out.
Not at all.
No, I'll try to force you to kind of get setup done, and we'll try to be productive, and then we can hang out after.
Of course,
But-
sure.
At least we can like get the video equipment and tripod set up. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anywho, let's begin with today's talk,
Topics relating.
which you can relate to. You see right there? See right there? Or topics you can relate to.
Yes.
Smart. I'm picking up. I'm trying to be a good host right here.
Trying. Trying.
All right. So Biden we're going to start off with politics, and we're going to go slightly into a tangent later into movies.
Yes.
Because we have a great debate for you, all of you, with the new movie coming out, Godzilla versus Kong, and we're going to be debating whose side and why we're on that side. So listen in. Before that,
It should be noted that Devish likely has better reasons for the side that he's on than I do.
yes, but well, no, you can kind of debate. But
Oh no, it'll be a debate. I'm just saying that like yours is probably more thought out than mine.
no, I just like we'll talk.
You like
about,
who you like. Yeah, I
yeah,
get it.
we'll talk about it later. All right, so starting off with Biden and the politics of that. Biden's been doing great.
Yes.
As soon as he's in administration, he's been making change. He's already
Yes.
repealing some of the Trump garbage that's been put on.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. He's even talked about repealing the electronic tax that Trump kind of put on, which
This I'm not aware of.
it just because I had to buy PCs for a new computer,
Yeah.
and I started noticing. Well, so what what's the word for like the people who passed the law? God,
The legislative branch,
no, just like the committee that does it.
Congress.
Yeah, the Congress.
yeah.
So Congress kind of gave a little bit of open window for people to suppress that. So they just suppressed the law, saying like from this period in 2020 to end of 2020, this electronic tax won't apply on certain things.
Okay.
Which was graphics cards and processors, anything electronic
Interesting.
that was exported from China, which is
Yeah.
a lot of computer parts, and
okay.
it basically taxed, I think it was 30% of its original cost.
Yeah.
So 30% more, which already made these highly expensive and rare GPUs and CPUs already more expensive.
Yeah.
Like imagine going to a Micro Center or Best Buy.
Yeah.
Hope Best Buy has it to buy like your 3070 graphics card,
Right.
which was $499, and then you realize because thanks to Trump now it's $599 or $699 because they raised the price of taxes.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. So that's in in motion of being repealed. I'm happy about that.
Nice.
Next thing that is happening with Biden, he has set up a timeline for people to bring life to normalcy. That's not even a word. Normalize life in the society.
Okay. And what would that
And he's given a
entail?
time. So he said he's basically wants 200 million doses of vaccine are going to arrive by the end of summer. But he's
To understand is they're looking to buy 200 more doses of vaccine.
they already have.
100 from Pfizer and 100 from Moderna.
Yes.
Yes.
So they already have
Yes.
as of this morning. And so the Trump administration ordered 400 million.
Yeah.
And Biden administration ordered 100 from Moderna and
Another 200 million in total.
yeah. So and this is twice as many doses as we need in America because American population as of now is 300 million people.
Yeah.
And Biden said it best is if like he said, and I quote, I rather have the country have more doses than needed than have shortages of vaccine doses, which
Well,
is
considering we're having an issue of states having shortages, all these super centers that aren't actually able to hold appointments or give out doses for people, and the fact that doses are just plain getting lost.
yeah. And I think there's some conspiracy about the Trump supporters within there, but
Yeah.
just in our town, not too long ago, I think they had to throw out a bunch of vaccine.
Right.
Like I think couple boxes of it because people who had made appointments just didn't show up.
Yeah.
And vaccines have a shelf life.
Right.
Because this is a sensitive vaccine. So if they're not given in some amount of time
Right.
to citizens, they get thrown out.
The point is Biden is trying to make sure that the country is covered as far as the vaccine goes and trying to fix what has honestly been a shit show of a rollout for
Pretty much.
trying to help the country.
I think the next problem that the world kind of needs to shine upon is EU and UK. Because after the whole, them separating from what's the thing?
EU?
The
What?
what is it called? I got a new.
What are you talking about right now?
I got a new keyboard right now, so I can type faster. EU had like its own
Are you talking about the whole Brexit thing?
Brexit. Yes.
Okay.
So since UK has left Brexit now, it's not part of the EU, so it's not considered as. So UK has to now order the vaccines separately than EU. So
Yeah.
now the vaccines are basically getting traded between EU and UK, and now they're arguing between who should get the vaccine and stuff like that.
Huh.
So there's been a big tension in there,
Interesting. This I was not aware of.
and that's something that I think should be the next light that needs to be shined upon instead of American news because
As far as news, yes. As far as whether or not American news will actually focus on that, hard to say.
I just
Unlikely,
mean
to
like
be
in the
honest.
world news,
Yeah.
because
World news, obviously.
so I did basically what we do in research in the
Yeah.
podcast where we look up sources from different countries, the news sources, and I've looked from India, I can't read Russian, so I did
Right.
my best. But Japanese have English translations. So I look at Japanese, some Chinese. Chinese pretty restricted. Thanks China, and Australian and stuff like that. A lot of it's about America. Like a lot of it focuses on American election and what's been going on in America.
Of course.
And so my hope is that once how this election is now over, once everything settles down, hopefully the world starts paying more attention to proper countries that are in need of attention, that need help, instead of a garbage election debate that went on for way too long, which world really didn't need to focus on.
No, it did not.
There's more places in the world that kind of needs to get shine light on. But moving on. Nick, what was the thing you talked about? Biden did.
Yes. So
It's pretty big.
So today, I believe
Yes.
Biden has issued a slurry Hold on, sorry.
Nick is on his phone.
I
Unprofessional.
apologize.
All right. It's about climate change.
Yes. Lately, Biden has done a lot for climate change, and again, with most things, just because it's easier and it's necessary. Biden been signing a lot of executive orders, and I believe it's today over the weekend today. What am I saying? I apologize. um, I for my work, I don't have weekends off. I get
Yeah.
2 days in the middle of the week. I never know when it is.
Yeah.
I know when to show up to work, though, and I know when to do the podcast. I still don't realize it.
We record this on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yes,
So
it is Wednesday right now.
it's
I don't know
usually a
why
day
I think
before.
it's I thought it was Monday for a moment. Okay.
No, it's
Apologies.
Wednesday.
No, but Biden has signed in a bunch of different executive orders, all focused around climate change and environmental safety. Yeah, environmental safety would be the right words, I guess.
I think he said he wants the country to go net zero by 2050, which means zero carbon emissions by 2050. That's a bold goal for even for a country this size.
Oh yeah.
But hey, I mean, dreamers can dream. You know, we put a man on the moon in a time when country was in chaos with
Yeah.
Vietnam War and
Right.
revolts and stuff like that. So,
Right.
hey, why not?
As part of these executive orders, one of them was to put a pause on oil and gas leasing on public lands. And part of this is they're trying to take the time to assess and weigh the effect on climate change and environmental safety compared to their obligation to energy companies and the business they have to do with them.
Yeah.
So that's been a big step part of it. And what's been talked about is this is the first step to potentially an outright ban on new drilling for the country. So
Excited about that.
again, people talk about, oh, it's a loss of jobs, and on a certain level, yeah, it's a loss of jobs. Thing is, though, there are new jobs to be had with clean energy, and the fact is, it would be nice if the people that have those jobs have kids, and those kids have kids that actually have a place to live, and not a planet that is killing them.
Here's a good argument. That's well said, by the way. But here's
Yeah.
a good argument for those people who say, it's killing jobs. Yeah, it's killing jobs, but it's also going to make more jobs. And meanwhile, it's killing jobs right now.
Yeah.
Give it like two different generations. Your grandkids won't be able to breathe the fresh air because you were too complaining about your jobs right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Now, I'm going to say something. Now, keep
Yeah.
in mind, you should do climate change research. The people in your family you should have talked to, and you should actually discuss scientific things for them with
Yep.
them. That said, a point you could bring up to your, I'm assuming, older family members, or maybe just your parents, who don't believe in climate change,
Yeah.
or kind of talk shit on it. Bring this point up to them. Be like, but I thought you loved me. When you tell me you don't believe in climate change, won't vote for it, it makes me think you want me to die.
That's a fair argument. I mean,
Because, well, they may not actually believe that in denouncing it. To a degree, that's what you're saying. You don't care what's going to happen to them for the next generation.
yeah.
You're on your way out. So even if that next generation or two is your family, down the line, fuck them.
I mean, I don't want to fully say that they're the main reason why, this shit is happening, but they are.
Well, their generation, the people of that generation, particularly certain people, not everybody, but again, eventually everyone becomes complacent in what causes it. So,
But then again, I don't want to fully say like it's everybody's fault.
Yeah.
I want to say that they were callous about climate change warnings,
Yeah.
and they didn't take the stuff about climate change as seriously as they needed to. Much like Trump, how he didn't take the whole idea of pandemic seriously.
well, of course not.
Because until it really starts kicking in and starts affecting you, you don't really see the problem.
Right.
I mean, people in America and UK and EU might not know the kind of climate change kind of problem climate
Right.
change causes, but people in Greenland know. I mean, there's giant icebergs that float by them. Like, I'm not kidding. There's a photo from the shore of a Greenland, and it shows like a huge 22-story like iceberg
Yeah.
just floating by, and it breaks and it crackles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like getting trauma for a kid.
Excuse me.
But they're kind of normal to it. They're just normal to a
Yeah.
giant ice cube floating by.
True.
Like we see that in America, we'll be like, "Holy shit, what's going on?"
Yeah. No, but like up till now, and like largely, around the world, parts of the country, and the last administration didn't believe in or didn't care about climate change. To the point, was it? Didn't Trump have a Twitter feud with Greta Thunberg?
Yes, yeah.
To what I saw, one of the comments he had made to her, she basically threw it back in his face. After he got, was taken out of office, which is interesting. If I can find that real quick, but still, people see this as like, oh, it's no, it doesn't matter, whatever. But for whatever reason, was it? It's an important issue, and yet for somehow this child activist, mind you, got death threats when she spoke up and challenged world leaders.
I mean, look, if you're willing to speak up, death threats are kind of a common issue.
They are.
Yeah, it's not a big thing these days. I mean, if this show gets big and we start talking about a really controversial issue, we're gonna get death threats. It's kind of like become a common these days. To take seriously, it's a different situation. But everyone just you go to Twitter and write something really controversial, you're gonna start getting death threats because it's just how humanity's become, just too toxic. Just the reality is. I mean,
Yeah.
people might say like, "Oh no, I am good." Well, you might be good, but people are not good. One enforces the other, and then the train follows.
Right.
Just like how think back when in high school, right?
Yeah.
If just to fit in, if one of the kids said that, "Hey, Jerry sucks," and then
Yeah.
two other people follow, just to fit in and be cool and not to be a weirdo, you would also say Jerry is weird, even though you didn't believe him. You
Yeah.
thought you were being cool, and that's the whole ideology of human psychology, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just takes few people to say something for many to follow it. That's just the plain old psychological rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
I found was Greta Thunberg's jab back at Trump as he left office. So in 2019, Trump had kind of noted, kind of dismissed her, and in one of his tweets he wrote, "A very happy young girl looking forward to a bright and wonderful future." Obviously, Trump's no longer president. On January 20th, she tweeted out a picture of him, captioned, "He seems like a very happy old man looking forward to a bright and wonderful future. So nice to see." Which,
Wait, so let me see this tweet because I
Yeah.
actually do want to. So, okay, but what was the? Do you have the main tweet that Trump said?
where is it? Not the actual tweet itself, but quoted
What is the quote? I want to see it.
right here.
A very happy young girl looking forward to a bright and wonderful future. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
she's at least trying. You just gave up.
She is, yeah. And of course, he says that mockingly of
Of course.
someone who's trying to make sure there's actually a world for her and her family and so
it's
her children.
It's
so
the
on.
Hollywood thing, right? It's like you compliment, you mock by giving them a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, look at you, you look so beautiful, and then you walk away. It's like the
I
compliment.
think it's the compliment. What is it? Or like the idea of like a compliment to women is like, oh, I love how you would just wear anything.
Yeah, or like,
Yeah.
look at all that makeup. Must have taken no time at all. It's like that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. It's
exactly.
like it's a backhanded
compliment.
Yeah, that's.
True.
But this is like more straightforward, like direct backhand. It's just.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you
No,
expect,
but-
man? A man's
yeah.
grown up with money and Hollywood to support him.
But of course, climate change is a real serious issue, and it's nice to see that the Biden administration is actually
They're-
taking notice and trying to make an effort
They're professionally.
more than any administration since.
They're
There's
professionally.
any administration prior, I should say.
They're professionally capable of actually
Anything?
talking about it
Sure.
and carrying out a goal in a professional manner instead
Yes.
of bitching about it on Twitter, saying, "No, I thought too. You thought. I thought that." That's basically what Trump did for months on end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, Trump honestly went in the reverse, and Biden, right back at him, has done a sweeping reversal of Trump era relaxations
It's-
on environmental regulation.
It's almost
so,
like
you know,
Obama was the front slap that kind of set the economy straight. And then Trump just backhanded a little bit, and then and Biden came in and just corrected that whole situation.
Yeah, because I know the news.
That's
has
a
talked
horrible
about,
metaphor, by the way.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yep.
I know the news has talked about particularly. Biden has inherited the country at its worst.
Yeah, but he's
For a
handling
long
like a
time.
champ. He's handling like a champ.
Again, I'm not saying I don't agree with what he's been doing. I'd say he's making the best of what he can.
Yeah, I
Right now.
mean, he's legit. It's almost like, when you get like, you know those things where you had to do where you had to take care of like an item for a day and make sure it was good.
Oh, what?
Like, you never had to do that, where you
What?
basically, like, let's just say you at school you pick a mug and you go like an entire day without like having it broken or get it damaged.
You mean like those egg things they give students, or like the flour bag?
Yeah,
Babies?
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like that, but it's like they gave that back to Trump. It was fully like nicely made. It was polished by Obama, and then he just instantly shattered it, and then he just kind of carried it around in his backpack all day without noticing what, like, and caring about it, and then he just kind of gave the crumbs to Biden. Now Biden has to kind of put it back together. That's basically a good analogy right there.
Sure.
What?
I don't know. I don't feel like what you're talking about needs an analogy.
I like
'Cause
giving analogies.
Analogies are meant for like taking very complex things and simplifying them.
I like an analogy.
This does not need an analogy.
I will always put an analogy to anything.
Country was not in a great place, but a decent place. Trump
What?
took office.
When
and
Trump
then
was in office?
No. Obama, whatever. Your opinions.
was doing
The country
better
was in a
than- Mm-hmm.
decent place, not a great place, but a decent place. Trump took office, and now there is a lot that needs fixing.
Yeah.
Between social injustice, systemic racism, the virus that was horribly, extremely poorly managed, and of course, in blue with that, the economy is in the toilet. So
Here's a good analogy, right?
no more analogies.
No, this is a really good.
We don't need. Nothing about this
This
is
is
complex
happening.
enough to
This
need
is-
an analogy.
This is it's like a car, right? The analogy is a car. Like, Obama was driving it. He kind of fixed it up. He gave it a nice clean. It's looking clean. He made it go to the car wash. He made it through the mechanic, right? It's semi-fixed, but it's still kind of rattly. And then Trump basically just went out in the country riding with that thing and busted the shit up out of it. He basically gave it a gas leak, ripped out the steering wheel, ripped out the brakes and the
Stop
pedal.
with the
crap.
analogies. They're unnecessary.
I'm doing it. It's happening.
Stop.
It's happening. Taking a sip of coffee.
Good for you. But again, Biden's done more. Is trying to do more. With that, with the executive orders included is directive for government agencies to end fossil fuel subsidies. The creation of a task force to make plans for curbing greenhouse gas emissions, and for the first time, I think at all ever, declaring climate change a national emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be a global emergency, technically, but
It is. It is. But
We're taking
for
a
the
step.
country, it is.
We're taking
a
a step.
national emergency. And it's not. I don't think it's an executive order, but it's something he's mentioned. I believe, in the direction he's looking to go, is looking to protect 30% of federal land by 2030.
Yeah.
So the idea for say for the purpose of climate change, and I guess this has been an idea that's been advocated by scientists and environmentalists internationally for quite a while now. So
Instead
it's
of
good to see people getting on board and
instead of completely ignoring the problem, we're actually kind of getting aligned with it right now.
yeah.
I mean, we're doing more than we've done in the past, so this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to. We need a slight more nudge. Let's just
Sure.
say that. But
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm happy with this.
Right. But it's nice to see us actually taking an effort to stand with, the rest of the world and realizing this is a problem. Mm-hmm. And it's not really something we were going to talk about today, but just like it's something I thought of in my head just now. We're talking about standing with the rest of the world. We're back with the World Health Organization, which for some reason Trump thought we should leave.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's because
Seriously.
I know why this happened, and I closely followed it for a little while. Then I
Okay.
gave up.
Give me
But
some details to this, and what to me is an insane idea.
do you want to guess though, quickly?
No, I want you to tell me.
Okay. So basically, Trump had his own plan of dealing with the pandemic, and he proposed it to WHO.
Yeah.
And WHO said, "Well, that's not how we do things around here. We have a secure guided protocol with how to deal with things."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, then we're just gonna pull out of WHO and do things our way." That was basically how the conversation went.
That sounds very Trump.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
hate
not the whole
that.
conversation, but
Right.
that's basically how it went. Where he's like, "Well, if you can't let us do it our way, then we're gonna just leave and do it our way." And that's
Right. Because why trust the World Health Organization?
didn't he leave the Security Council, the World Council, whatever? What is it called?
The UN.
The UN, yeah, at some
United
point.
Nations.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think we
That
left
I don't think so. But I
Did
know our standing with them is not
America
good.
Leave UN. You see that? You hear that new keyboard? It's awesome. Under President Donald Trump, the U.S. withdraw from United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural, so UNESCO, and UN Human Rights Council in October 27th and 2018, respectively. Yeah, he did. He did.
Wait. Say it again.
He withdrew from the UNESCO
Yeah.
and UN Human Rights Council in 2017 and 2018,
Okay.
which is basically most of the UN. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So withdrawing from the World Health Organization.
And then UN.
oh,
Well,
yeah.
UN first, but
Another thing that we're back in that Trump tried to take us out of, the Paris Climate Agreement or Paris Accords.
yes.
And then, mind you, as another side note to this, apparently the Ted Cruz, the lovely idiot
Oh yeah,
the
the most toxic man
Republican,
of public.
who has this weird idea that somehow we signed the Paris Climate Agreement,
Okay.
and it has something to do with, or well, to his idea, why are we supporting the people of Paris as opposed to the people of Pittsburgh, where he's from, or whatever? It's like, that it's called the Paris Climate Agreement because it was signed in Paris. It has nothing to do with the people, right?
Before we even go forward,
Sure, yeah.
did you read the agreement?
No, clearly not.
This sounds like a serious Southern redneck behavior. This is like. That's just so stupid. That is just so stupid on so many levels. Well, it's the goddamn Paris in the name. We're not supporting Paris. Why aren't you supporting Philadelphia over here and down south? It's like. That is such a shitty.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that what he did? Ted
Okay, so
Cruz.
I'm on Yahoo News apparently. The article is Ted Cruz's Pittsburgh over Paris campaign shows just how dumb the Biden years are going to be, which feels like a off title. Highlights in response to Biden re-entering the U.S. Into the Paris Climate Agreement, GOP Senator Ted Cruz has launched a Pittsburgh over Paris campaign. Cruz says that Biden rejoining the Paris Agreement will cost the citizens of Pittsburgh jobs, but the idea makes no sense and is just another bad faith attempt at scoring political points.
I keep hitting my
This
mic,
is the norm
everybody.
for
I'm sorry.
Republicans and signs of what's to come. This is an opinion column, though thoughts expressed are those of the author. Yeah. There's not much there. Hold on. Oh, wait. Did we talk about this last week?
Talk about what?
Hold on. I'm getting redirected for some reason.
Nicely done.
Something about Seth Rogen and Ted Cruz.
Oh, they were having a feud. We
Did we
talked
talk
about it last
this?
time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but very mildly. But they were having a mega feud on there,
Yeah.
which is amazing, honestly. I was just watching the tweets flow by, and
Yeah.
it was we covered Dean Browning and Seth Rogen, not Ted Cruz. But Seth's been involved in a lot of major political stuff.
Okay. So I want to kind of read into this a little bit. So between Ted Cruz and Seth Rogen. The dispute began last week when Rogen dubbed Cruz a fascist in profane terms for claiming President Joe Biden's choice to rejoin the accord indicated he was more interested More interested views. Wait, this is big. Indicated he was more interested views of citizens of Paris than the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh. Okay, this is annoying me so much lately. I noticed most articles that are only online are so poorly edited. I'm assuming this is missing the words "more interested in the" is not in this in the quote. Just saying. Just like another article I was reading today, like from from an actual standable, our newsline like wrote that twice. What not necessary.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Before we continue,
Yeah.
I found the tweet.
Okay.
And I'll read off all Seth Rogen and Mark Ruffalo replies to this.
Can I finish?
Oh,
And then
sure,
we'll
go
do
ahead.
tweets, yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
do this after.
Okay. The name Paris Climate Accord refers to the city which the deal was signed in 2015, by leaders in more than 200 nations, including President Barack Obama. Scientists and world leaders say the agreement plans for reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide, will prevent a dangerous increase in global temperatures. Many Republicans believe the Paris Accord unfairly limits American jobs and economic growth. Many Republicans believe the Paris Accord unfairly limits American jobs and economic growth with little concrete return. Oh, I'm sorry. Is the future survival of your offspring not concrete return?
But this is USA Today, by the way, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cruz responds to Rogan's tweet on Wednesday, calling it a charming, civil, educated response.
Yes.
He added,
yes,
if you're a rich, angry Hollywood celebrity, today's Dems are the party for you. If you're blue collar, if you're a union member, if you're working energy or manufacturing, not so much.
He's rich
Rogan
himself.
is in four unions, the actor replied.
All right, let's
USA
cover
Today,
this.
yeah. But
Let's cover this tweet.
okay, go through the tweets.
So by rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, President Biden indicates he's more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than in the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh. This agreement will do little affect the climate and will harm livelihoods of Americans. Let's just take in that for a second. I strongly suggest, Senator Ted Cruz to read about agreements before talking about them, just because it sounds like he's farting out of his ass than actually giving a proper, interesting opinion.
You mean talking out his ass?
No, farting out his ass.
Okay,
What's the
that
difference
too,
between
true.
him and talking and farting? These days, it's pretty much the same thing.
True, yeah.
Seth Rogen replies, "Fuck you, fascist." Pretty good reply. And then Mark Ruffalo goes, "It's really hard to tell if you're dumb or just willfully ignorant. It really doesn't matter because everything you say end up being idiotic anyway. I look forward to you trying to twist the truth to a jury, your insurrection charges."
Okay, so for whatever reason,
Well
something
said.
about the stuff I know about the very little I know about Mark Ruffalo already, and that tweet alone, kind of make me want to follow him on Twitter. Although that would heavily clash with what I already follow on Twitter.
What?
Not for this podcast.
Oh, okay. It's too never safe for work for this podcast.
True.
What there's a Twitter called Republicans Against Trump replied, "Are you really that dumb, or are you just pretending to be? It's an international agreement signed in Paris, and other than Syria, okay." So there are people trying to explain it to him. Maybe, I think, what happened, Senator? Can you reply back? What happened? Are you on the line, Senator? I am so shocked just by that comment. All right, I need to take a moment just to take in what the hell he just said, because that's just beyond stupid.
Yeah.
That's like not just missing your shot at a target. That's shooting your gun at your face and then missing your face.
Yeah.
That's basically what he just did. Like, he just shot himself in the foot without even trying to shoot himself in the foot.
Yeah. So, actually, in
God.
response to Cruz saying this, there's another someone else's tweet I find interesting.
Dear God.
Alexandria Cortez wrote back, "Nice tweet, Senator Cruz. Quick question: do you also believe the Geneva Convention was about the views of the citizens of Geneva? Asking for everyone who believes U.S. senators should be competent and not undermine our elections to incite insurrection against the United States."
Geneva Convention. That is amazing. Well put. Whoever did this, well put. Oh dear God.
Well, you
How obnoxious can it be to say something like
I don't
that?
know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Let's move on from this. I can't talk about this anymore. Let's talk about the terrorism stuff. Yeah. Nice transition into terrorism.
Sure, yeah. He's like, I can't talk about the idiot
It's
senator.
too
Let's talk
stupid.
about
It's
terrorists.
too stupid technology, even what he just said. That's too stupid technology.
That's been the last 4 years. 5, if you count Trump running.
I guess, but this is just beyond stupid. That's like I'm not gonna.
It-
I was gonna give an analogy. Let's just move on.
Speaking of stupid, because this goes in line. Speaking of stupid,
No, keep going. I know where you're
speaking
going.
of stupid, and again, there's a degree to which there's a lot
boy.
that goes into a person's mental state of being caught in echo chambers, going down this wrong path.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's documentaries about how right wing media kind of becomes kind of takes people over.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to it, but it's easy to say, "But what the hell? What the fuck is wrong with these idiots?"
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's another side to it. But yeah, the Capitol got raided. These are domestic terrorists, and for the first time in a while, DHS has actually raised warnings about domestic terrorists. Usually, DHS, Homeland Security, has talked about, or will raise the level for if there's an issue with another country, or foreign terrorist.
Yeah.
Not usually domestic, so this is more of a big deal. So it made a few headlines places.
I was just thinking about this the other day. Imagine if there was a foreign terrorist just walked in and placed a bomb and blew up the Capitol that day.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the chaos and the lives that have been lost instead of what did happen. Do these people not really think
Yeah.
how? Okay, just
I understand. Yeah. As of right now, DHS has no information about active plots, but given the high tensions and riots that have been going on lately, they're concerned over the next few weeks, or possibly at least with no space time, just the beginning of 2021, with heightened frustrations of people and the particularly with domestic terrorists, it's a difference of ideals.
excuse me.
Particularly about Biden being appointed president. Mm-hmm. They're concerned about potential
For
terrorist plots.
Yeah, for the raids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, hey, you snooze, you lose. You run, you get shot these days. I mean, good luck.
yeah.
Okay, good luck.
But the country is in a very fragile place right now, I'd say.
Yeah. Hey, here's a good message to all the dumbasses who want to raid and plotting stuff. Don't do it, okay? Don't fucking do it. Like you were the biggest dumbass in the universe. You're not only fighting the country you live in, but you're also fighting for what this country stands for. Okay? You're
Fighting against what the country stands for, you mean?
Yeah.
Fighting for what the country stands for.
Sorry,
imply
not
they're
fighting
in the
against.
right,
You're right. Yeah, sorry, I just phrased it wrong.
Also,
but-
Will, I don't necessarily disagree with you. If you're genuinely trying to make a plea to people to not, take part in terrorist acts, I wouldn't start by calling them a dumbass.
Why not? I mean, yeah, I can just go straight up. I can just straight up
Because
say like,
there's a lot of psychology in how you would talk somebody down. And while I don't think our podcast is currently trying to talk down any
dude,
potential domestic terrorists.
I am gonna talk down to a terrorist. Don't get the
No,
terrorist.
I didn't say. I said talk down. I didn't say talk down to.
Oh, talk down in general. Okay, yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just talking down to terrorists, domestic terrorists.
Okay.
All of them. All the dumbasses who just.
Remind me in certain situations to tell you to shut up. Then.
Okay.
I'll talk down.
Okay.
Once the person has been
I get a little furious
detained or
about this.
contained, you can talk down to them. Okay.
Okay.
Let me do the talking first in the situation.
I get furious about this stuff. You know,
Okay.
just like going against what the country stands for.
Right.
Like.
No, I get that.
Like people, like the people, a lot of people who raided the Capitol were like Confederate supporters,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, it's our heritage and it's one of
Right.
my
It's
ancestors.
not a heritage to be proud of.
It's a shitty and it's most dishonoring heritage to be proud of because your heritage basically overruled what
Yeah.
overruled the freedom for all.
Right. So the thing is,
Key leading what's it called? A commandment for this
First,
country.
what?
First commandment? Amendment?
Amendment.
Sorry, amendment for this country.
Also, that doesn't have anything to really do with the whole slavery thing.
No,
What?
I guess it does. In my mind, it does.
Doesn't, but
Well, if you say freedom for all,
the First Amendment is about freedom of speech.
okay, never mind then.
It's about freedom of speech.
I need to take a step
the
back.
freedom
I'm-
of assembly.
I'm angry talking.
Yeah. And freedom of the press, and also has to do with freedom
Okay.
of religion.
Hold on, I'm looking
So
it
on
up.
a few things, there needs to be a podcast episode where we teach Deves some things about politics.
Hold on, I'm looking it up, so I'm right. Is there an amendment for equal rights? Yes, there is. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Not
Not the First
disregard
Amendment,
that.
and they're not called commandments.
this. Okay,
That's religion.
I was thinking of Moses. Okay, chill out.
Okay.
Just-
Oh, and this is a side note that we're not going to go into, but it should be noted that the whole thing about the First Amendment, free religion, all that, the First Amendment is a direct conflict with the First Commandment.
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
The First Amendment is in direct conflict with the First Commandment.
It is.
Yeah.
Hold up, I gotta look this up. What's the first commandment?
I am the Lord thy God, there shall have no other God before me.
And how is?
The First Amendment, well, at least the way it is considered now, is the idea that the government will make no law regarding religion, and thereby, you're free to practice whatever you wish.
Okay, and then the first commandment says.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Thus
get.
being in conflict with each other.
Okay. No, I get it. Yeah, that is very contradictory then.
But we're just going to leave that there and
I
move on.
angry talk and then I'd make no sense. That's the issue. And I
know you
think that's the point where I need to kind of take a step back
Yeah.
and just this way you need to come in and just be like, Drew, shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're talking about. And we need to take a minute and analyze stuff.
That's because I was never like an angry person for like discussions usually, but through a few different things, I learned to remain very calm in
I don't.
debates and discussions. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's easy for me. Like, my family will get heated really fast. And I'm just there like,
basically that.
God dang it, I started this conversation. Why couldn't you just stop talking so that I can have this discussion? Because I know if at least I do it, I'm not going to blow up.
Yeah. I am basically.
Because I want that conversation to get to a certain point, and it never does.
But that's the whole thing with the family, right? Like they're agreeing with each other, and then they get hyped about that stuff, and they just get aggravated about the same issues.
Yeah.
I am completely opposite, where I just get aggravated about the issues without agreeing with anyone.
Yeah, but then there's people who will agree on stuff,
Yeah.
but get so heated they don't realize they're talking past each other
Yeah.
in agreement or completely misunderstanding each other.
I've done that before,
Yeah,
many times. I got anger issues, man.
yeah, I know. I don't know why. What it
Nick
reminded
hasn't seen me that angry, but I do get very angry.
the
at stuff.
angriest I've seen you.
Is when we played Injustice.
Yes, actually, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That was it. That's the only time you've seen me
That's
super
the angriest
angry.
I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
Few years ago, me, Devesh, and Eric are all playing Injustice, and it's not a game I've ever played.
Yeah,
but
me and Nick have been playing this the very first time,
yeah.
and Eric has played it multiple
No,
times
you
before.
were playing it before.
What?
No, you played Injustice before. I know, because that's the reason you got upset with me. Is because you played before. You were good at it.
I played with Eric once. That was it. That wasn't like I played
Okay.
it, but I played on like my iPad or something like that. It was one of the free games.
Whatever. No, because you talked about being good at it, and
Yeah.
then you got upset that I beat you.
Well, because you
Like,
were
badly,
okay.
too.
It was a whole thing where Nick was button mashing,
I was
and
not
then
button mashing.
you were clearly button mashing, and just
I was mashing the right buttons.
So there was one character that basically, if you like kick, it has a kick that basically makes you immobile for a couple seconds,
Okay.
and if you keep doing it over and over again, basically the other player doesn't get to do anything.
Pretty sure I was playing as Catwoman.
No, you weren't. You were playing as
No, because I know I was playing as a female character,
but
or it was.
it was
Harley
Johnny
Quinn.
Cash's daughter or whatever,
Oh, okay.
and she has this kick where it basically drops your character and you're immobile, and then they can just do it again quickly, and it has like this really super like animation like damage thing, attack
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
And you just kept like doing those things that just pissed the shit out of us. Because once you're trapped in a corner and person can keep doing it over and over again,
Yeah.
while other characters have restrictions, apparently that character didn't.
I will admit to mashing for the first game I played, and
Yeah.
then because again I've never played before.
Yeah.
Then I actually started learning moves, and then
Yeah.
not really well, but others figured out how to like, combo them and like back off when I need to. But
Yeah.
by the end, I was actually playing the game, not button mashing and
Yeah.
winning. So
And this is why now I never ever actually play 1v1 games. Ever. I'm always into open world games now.
I think you and like here's the thing: you and I could play 1v1 games before with COD against each other,
Yes.
and you'd usually win, which is fair.
Well, it was Call of Duty, so it was
Yeah.
different because I was good at like aim
But
and shit
you
like that.
could not play 1v1 with Eric.
Okay, it was a little different.
You could a little
'cause-
bit. I couldn't.
It was a little different because he has ADHD.
Anger issues.
No, he had ADHD, so he would get angry like really freaking
Oh, yeah.
fast. About anything. So he had that like kind of childish intention where it's like, no, I was supposed to win, and then you get angry and storm away and
yeah.
stuff like that.
He got upset about some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like he always got more upset with me over you for the fights.
Well, that's because sometimes I would let him win. Like once in a while, I would let him win just to like, not.
See, that's the thing though, because like
Diffuse
there
the
were so many times
situation.
where I would lose a lot in
Yeah.
the early days.
Yeah.
So if I was on a winning, because of that going forward, if I was on a winning streak, I'm not letting up.
Yeah.
You would let him win.
I would sometimes let him win. I would do that to you too sometimes because I just don't. I don't want people to get too angry, so I diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
But once you started winning, you just didn't let anyone win. Same what goes with Injustice, and that's what like got Eric so angry, and with me that one time. I think the only other time I've got angry is slightly at Fallout with playing with you.
Yeah. But I think the point is though, if I don't know, in this situation, it didn't seem like I should have to let you win. Either win or the U.S. should win or you don't.
Yeah.
It's not up to me to let you.
I'm not that petty anymore. I don't think
Yeah.
I care about winning anymore. It's
That's
just a
true.
game.
Yeah.
We play it for fun, and that's it.
Honestly,
even
most of my games
GTA.
right now are for de-stressors.
Yeah, I mean, like we played GT the other day, and some like kids started coming and attacking
Yeah.
us for no reason. We were just like having fun.
Oh yeah.
Like it didn't even matter that
Yes.
much.
Possibly for this podcast, I don't know. We have a saved clip of me playing GTA.
Oh my god, that is such a clip.
That is
okay.
just
So
awful.
I might be a prophet or something because Nick. Okay, so he got to his bunker with the helicopter. He jumped out, and I prophesized.
So in my GTA, I bought a
Okay.
bunker because what is it? We both got the
Criminal starter
criminal
pack.
starter pack. So I decided I'm going to grab a helicopter,
Yeah.
steal it, of course, because I don't pay for anything.
Yeah,
Fly over there. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to land. I'm going to parachute in.
yeah. And I
So,
said right before he even got there, I'm like, "You're gonna die, Nick, parachuting it."
Yeah.
And he's parachutes. He instead of going away from the helicopter, goes right underneath it, turns around, and then gets hit by the helicopter.
No. It's better than that. Helicopter comes down, hits me.
He hits your parachute,
It's my parachutes. The parachute's gone. I start falling.
and then a
And then
helicopter.
before I hit the ground, helicopter comes down and cuts through my head.
It's not even before you hit the ground. It like there was like a solid 100-meter difference between you and the helicopter, where you basically
kept falling.
you kept falling and you fell into the helicopter blades.
Oh yeah.
And then you died in the helicopter blades before you hit the ground.
Yes.
That's the funniest clip I've seen.
Right.
Because I knew that he was going to die. The moment he jumped out, I was like, this is over.
So now I think in the future at some point we will end up doing probably
A live
short,
stream.
not like long videos probably.
Yeah.
Maybe like short video clips being released or just, and all it's gonna be is me, probably both of us a bit, but me
Just
playing
goofing
GTA
around. Yeah.
and Devesh just being like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. It's mostly... Okay, so Nick has a very epic playstyle where if he's driving a car, he basically hits everything possibly in his way. Car, walls, traffic lights, road signs, a bridge, a bush, basically everything you can imagine of, he just hits it.
on
And I'm sometimes kind of get angry, and I'm like, Nick, what are you doing? Drive on the road, and he just like goes out of his way to hit another car, and I'm like, what?
Sometimes it's an accident, sometimes it's not. But our friend Eric would get annoyed because I didn't have GTA originally.
That's because you would basically grab his like supercar and turn
That's
it
not
into
my
a...
fault that he handed me the controller while he was in his car.
He
He
basically
learned eventually
yeah
to put his car back in the garage
yeah
before giving me the controller. But before he did that, I may have some of his cars may have lost the doors, windshield,
which
hood,
I
gotten crushed,
I don't
popped
know
a
why
tire.
people get upset about it. I mean, it's just the car. You can just get a new one
It's
right away.
true, yeah.
It's
Like
like
even the
$10,000.
cars I have in that game, though, like I don't
Yeah.
use them. I just
Yeah,
steal
it's pretty
cars
true.
all the time.
Yeah, like
And then if I'm at a car and I see it like a motorcycle, I'll get out of my car and take the motorcycle, and that's about it.
well, I should tell you something epic that happened. So you
Yeah.
know the oppressor guys, the floating bike
Yeah, of
people,
course.
which everyone hates.
The
Come on,
awful
if
people.
you're a floating bike guy and you shoot people down just for fun of it, no one likes you.
But like, I'll be honest, if I had one, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but this is pure karma, by the way. So I was playing on PC because
Yeah.
now I got a new one, and I'm just on my Insurgent, this big armored car, driving along, doing my missions. I'm doing my package.
Yep.
Some asshole starts shooting at me, right? And the funniest thing is that I stopped driving because I think he's gonna kill me. And one of the shots he fires launches me right into him, and
Yeah.
he just he just gets slammed right into the water, and then I just walk away. I didn't even drive the car. I walked away from him,
Nice.
and he just struggled for 20 minutes to try to get in my car.
Funny. Yeah. See, would you do like Divish talks about like my when I try, I'm not that bad at driver.
Okay.
But like if I'm running from the cops, my plate, like my car, doesn't matter what I hit. Like if I you say I'm going
Which
one
is
direction,
pretty
I've
much
been going the
everything.
same direction for a while. If my car gets hit, I hit something.
Yeah.
I will just take off in whatever the new direction is, and keep going. It doesn't matter if I was going for something originally. I'm just going somewhere else now.
Yeah.
Away from what's going on.
Yeah.
I am an awful player. When
No,
I
you just a casual player. We just
No, I'm a very casual player. I'm saying when I fight other people, because either I'm not good at it, or I get a fast car and I just throw stickies out the window to blow people up, or I'll throw a sticky on the car beforehand and ram it into you and jump at the last second. Which was it? Last playthrough I just took someone's car, which was a mistake on their part, because they didn't lock it. It was some sports cars going ridiculously fast.
yeah.
So in the middle of this intersection, people are having this big fight. I am flying around back and forth in this car because no one can shoot at it for very long because it moves too fast.
Yeah.
And no one's blowing me up. And I just keep flying around back and forth, blowing people up. But the car is constantly getting totaled every time because every time I go past people,
Yeah.
the only thing I'm focused on is trying to blow them up. So I don't pay attention to the fact that the car is about to hit a tree, wall, building, whatever. But the car hits something, goes in the air, lands back down. I take off again, different direction. Oh, there's a person, hit him
Jesus.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just a good time killer right there.
True. We need to recreate
What?
what we did with the planes.
Oh God, I have the clip.
Where you crashed into me.
Yeah, I have that clip.
So one of the best things we did, we were messing around one day, is we go to the airport. Devesh grabs a plane. Now keep in mind, the plane, crashing into didn't explode on top of me. He hit me with the plane, so that I went flying.
Well, okay. Well,
The tip of the nose hit me, and I went.
no. The context is you started shooting missiles at me, and I
No,
got
no, that was separate.
this both times.
We did both these incidents happened in the same gameplay.
Yeah.
But the first one we did.
Oh yeah, I
was
just
standing
clipped
there-
you. I just clipped you with the wing, or the
No,
nose.
with the nose,
tip.
he hit me straight with the nose. The plane blew up.
Oh,
but
okay.
afterwards, but before it blew up, it hit me first before hitting the ground, and I went flying.
I don't remember that. I have to go look back. I do remember the time when you started shooting missiles at me.
Yes.
Then I just kind of clipped you with my wing and took you with me.
Oh no! What happened was we had it set so that because he's my friend on the game, I can't kill him.
Yeah.
But what I can do is when his plane's coming at me, launch a missile at it, blow it up, thereby not killing him.
No, it would kill me.
It didn't kill you though.
But you didn't blow me up. I just clipped you with my wing.
I recall being crushed by a burning plane.
Maybe,
You
probably.
didn't die. No. Somehow you didn't die. Either you jumped out of something, and I blew up the plane. The plane falls on me
Oh God.
without killing you miraculously. So there's that.
All right, enough of GTA. We're gonna take
Right.
a break. We're gonna be here forever if you're gonna keep talking about GTA. Honestly,
We are. We
All
truly
right,
are.
we're gonna take a quick break and give it up for our sponsors for today, which is Anchor, and we'll be right back after using the bathroom, whatever we do in our break.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and give it up for our sponsor, Anchor. And we're back. We're back. What up?
Hey, how's it going?
We're officially back.
We're back. We've
I had to use the
returned.
bathroom.
Back from the dead.
No, back from the bathroom actually.
Oh, so
I was in the flickering point between if I had to go to bathroom or not, and
usually best to go in those instances.
I just sat on it. I just sat on the toilet
Oh, fun.
and I peed and we're good. It happened.
Do you ever find yourself when you go to the bathroom, you're there far longer than you need to be just because you're on your phone?
Sometimes. I usually do that on my iPad though.
See, this has happened to me because I've been in the bathroom for so long. On my phone, gone to the bathroom, and then something happens where I forget as to whether or not I have already wiped.
Okay, so you just redo it.
But like I have to do like a test run, and like I forget, like that's happened.
Yeah.
Where like it's so caught up in like doing whatever on my phone, like I forgot if that's gotten done yet.
Do you do a side wipe or the front wipe?
What's the difference?
Well, in the front you go underneath. You know, you kind of like
Oh, what? No.
tuck your balls and
No.
dick, and you kind of do that. But on the side, you kind of go from the
No,
side. You kind of
side.
just angle it.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to wipe.
Yeah.
There's the Indian way where you just kind of squat on the toilet, which is the normal way.
Yeah.
That's actually how you're supposed to sit on a toilet. Believe me or not, you're actually supposed to squat on the whole thing. Like
Okay.
that's the official use of it.
Okay.
But they just after a while people started sitting on them,
Yeah.
and they stopped making like the one
Yeah.
with the steps on it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. No, side wipe, whatever. No, but honestly, that's the interesting thing is that culturally, again, America and like other countries, are kind of disgusting because technically bidet is cleaner and healthier.
but days,
Yeah.
in
Where it
some sense,
sprays, but yeah.
in some sense,
Yeah.
water clean. Okay, cleaning cleaning your butt after pooping with water is definitely more cleaner than doing with toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's factually proven. Don't argue against that. You will lose.
Yeah.
But days are okay. You just need to wipe water away from your butt because then you can. If you don't, you can get bacterial infections and shit like
Well,
that.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying.
But no, most people don't do that. That's
They
what I'm saying.
should.
Like, bidets become common, but
Right.
people just spray it and then they just leave and put their like pants back up and it's wet. You get wet underwear and
Okay,
whatever.
My point is,
Yeah.
do both. And before we started the podcast, we were talking about like looking forward to living on our own. Probably something I'd have
A bidet.
once I had the money, possibly.
Dude, yeah, bidets is
Because now you can even get them as like attachments.
yes.
toilet, which is
I'd rather just get a built-in. I go the extra mile. You know.
Yeah, just probably wouldn't be the first place you have, but
Yeah. I'll probably just save up
Yeah.
and get myself like an automatic
yeah,
like one
I get that.
where there's like a button module on the
Yeah,
on the toilet. It's not on the toilet. So if people want to kind of picture it with me, imagine a toilet has it has the top down,
yeah,
and there's like a little armrest coming over, but it's only for the module.
yeah.
And you can kind of rotate it, and you can like put the seat up.
Oh yeah,
And the top automatically goes up when it detects someone, like a sensor.
right.
But then you can turn to P mode, or you can turn it into, a poop mode or sit down mode, stuff like
You've
that.
done a lot more research into this than I have.
No, I just know a lot
Or you're
about
just more aware.
I just know a lot about electronic toilets because my friend went to Japan, right?
Yeah,
And he kind of stays there a little bit, and we were discussing about differences in toilets,
of course.
like because they have like amazing toilets. They got like butt washers,
Yes.
warmers, like they got crazy shit in there.
The works, yeah.
Yeah, like if we take a trip to Japan, like take your time in the bathroom. That's one thing. Like it's honestly more pleasurable to kind of just explore the features.
Yeah.
In there, it's just it's like it's the variety of Kit Kats in Japan, right? There's so goddamn many. There's like sake, wasabi, like shit you don't see here. It's like that. There's so many variable options.
Huh. All right.
Just the only thing I hate about Japan
Yeah.
is like the whole recycling situation. You know, he was
What do you
telling me about it. Like, so they have different types of plastic. They
Yeah.
wrap up, so the fruits come in different plastic
Yeah.
compared to chalk candies and
Yeah. Okay.
food stuff, and they have to recycle it properly. Like
What's wrong with
plastic,
that?
plastic 13 goes in 13 recycling bin,
Yeah.
12 and 12, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if they don't do it, they get penalized.
Oh.
So they have to properly recycle, which is great, believe
good
me or
thing,
not.
yeah.
But everything in that country is covered in plastic. Like from your candy that comes into a packet
Yeah.
is individual wrapped in a different kind of plastic than the big
Okay.
big
Yeah.
packaging. It's annoying.
Huh.
He was telling me like it's more of an effort to eat candy here than like go and get some like veggies to eat
Okay.
from grocery store because they don't come in plastic. You just get a bag.
Okay.
This is just interesting to hear that kind of stuff. I love Japan.
Nice.
I do want to go there someday though. It is
should.
like, especially the time when the trees are pink and it's autumn
Of course.
and the cherry trees are kind of trying to bloom or
Yeah.
they're going down. It's very nice. Very nice time to be around.
Definitely a place to go to.
Yeah. There. I also want to go see Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
That's my big thing. It's the only mountain I actually kind of want to go see because it's not too cold up there.
Huh.
It's actually warmer because the volcano has been active for a couple of years now, and it's so close to the equator.
Okay.
If you go to Everest, you freeze.
Obviously.
If you go to Nepalian mountain range or Indonesian ones, they're too hot.
Yeah. Actually, my boss has been on Mount Everest.
I mean, that's a nuts, but he's lucky because they don't allow it anymore.
What?
It's closed. You can't climb that shit.
Right now, you mean, or ever? Right now.
I think for a long time you won't be able to climb it. They polluted the shit out of Everest.
Yeah, I'm well aware they polluted it. There's been talks because of just the way things are. That nothing like goes away, nothing breaks down or whatever. So Mount Everest is massively polluted from
Yeah,
people
like
constantly climbing it.
people
so.
leave their bags, clothing.
Yeah, because my boss has talked about it. It's not a pretty sight anymore.
Yeah,
And he talked about like he wouldn't want to go back again, or at least he wouldn't want to go. He wouldn't want to go back to like the
climb
main-
it all the way.
the main part of it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't actually talked to him about it. I know like he's constantly wearing the
The masks that are for.
no the jacket or
Oh,
what like
okay.
he got from it or whatever.
Yeah.
And occasionally customers ask about it.
Okay.
I haven't actually engaged him in that conversation, but
I think there's two reasons they kind of stopped. Mainly was pollution, but secondly, a lot of people ended up dying up there
yeah,
because they don't really know the dangers that Mount Everest has to bring, like the low oxygen, the hypothermia.
well, a lot of people end up just paying to get flown halfway up, or more than halfway up, for the first part.
Yeah,
Don't even climb it,
they just take a photo and leave.
basically.
Yeah, there's helicopter stuff now, but they just
Yeah.
cancel everything now. They don't. You can't go because people leave shoes and stuff like that. And there's no respect for climb. Like the first man to ever climb Everest had the respect of climbing the mountain and the dangers it offered and the experiences it offered. But now it's more so like an experience that you kind of go and get like a theme park. It's not as It's like Niagara Falls back when it first like was a thing. People lived in tents and it was a spiritual experience, right? You lived the ways the Native Americans lived back then. But now it's like you could live in hotels and now it's just unnecessary shit. It's ruined the authentic experience something has to offer.
I don't think you're. Yeah, hold on a second.
Like the prime Niagara experience would have been amazing to experience, but now it's just it's just all too modernized
Yeah,
by tourism.
No, you can still climb Mount Everest, from what I'm seeing. That hasn't changed.
Not,
What you're talking about it being polluted, that's a thing. But they have
can
not
you
closed
really
it.
climb Everest?
Yeah, you can still climb it. That hasn't changed.
They might have listed climb Everest. Hold on. A lot of people died.
No,
climbing it.
obviously. There's a lot of deaths and pollution, but you can still climb it still.
Okay. Yep, you can climb it. There was like lines of people trying to climb it. It's just insane
Yeah.
amount of people. I don't like that.
Oh no, they closed it for a little while. Let's see.
Yeah, they did. I do remember that.
After
just to
shutting
clean
down
up.
all mountain climbing, Nepal invites hikers back this fall in an attempt to salvage its tourism economy. The world's highest peak, Mount Everest, will reopen to trekkers this fall after mountain climbing in Nepal was shut down in March because
Jesus.
of coronavirus concerns.
The amount of
So yeah,
pollution,
nothing
man.
to actually the issues.
Look at all these plastic and metal bottles and cans and shit that people just leave behind. That's just like what?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, it's terrible.
Just awful. You know that line from what's that amazing movie Kingsman,
Yeah.
where Valentine, who's like the main bad guy,
Yeah.
goes humanity is the fever, and he's like explaining the whole thing,
Yeah.
like humanity is a parasite
Yeah.
given the plant the fever.
No, was it humanity is the virus? The Earth is the human
No,
body.
climate change is the
Climate
fever.
change is the fever.
And
Yeah.
it,
Oh my God! Can we?
what?
I'm sure someone may have done it, but if there was ever a correlation between Valentine and Thanos,
No, there's not, because Thanos' intentions were good. Like he
Valentine's intentions were still good in
no
a sense.
Valentine wanted to wipe out humanity because not because of the resources, because climate change. He wanted to commit mass genocide because of climate change. Thanos
He
wanted
thought he needed to restart the world, but his
Yeah.
intentions of that were to, in a sense, a good thing, sort of
ish,
ish.
right? Thanos isn't okay. I guess you can argue that, but
But Thanos doesn't come from necessarily a good place. He comes from trauma, because when his idea of like wiping out half of the people came from trauma, we're seeing his world die, not because he could have just thought, why not double the
it's
resources?
not trauma. First of all, he's a genetic hybrid, so he's not even a full Titan. He's a lab experiment, and secondly, he he found a solution to the resource problem.
Yes, and
that-
when his home planet didn't do it,
Yeah,
they all
because
died.
it's
he had
just-
to deal with that.
they just didn't want to do which planet would completely agree to genocide of their own kind.
Right, but I'm talking about the fact that that's part of the story that people talk about is that the idea of why didn't he double the resources comes from this place of his ideas also built around the
So-
trauma of watching his family, his civilization die. This is a whole separate topic about film theory and such.
I guess, but the only way Valentine and Thanos would have been equal if Valentine went to every country in the world and killed half its population.
That's
then
true.
then Valentine and Thanos would have been equals, right? It's a little bit different when Valentine just goes, just kill everybody except the people who are rich.
It should be noted at least Valentine was a lot better dressed.
Nah,
Yes,
absolutely not. Thanos,
100%.
no.
Valentine was much better looking than Thanos.
With what? It's like shitty suit that he was wearing that's partially like garbage looking.
What are you talking about?
The top hat scene don't count. The top hat scene
Really?
don't
You're
count.
gonna choose Thanos?
Yes.
Really? You're gonna choose Ballsack Chin over Valentine?
Yes.
Can't even with you right now.
It's a little different because Valentine. It's a little different because Valentine's not going out and fighting to go against his cause. He's cowering behind a bulletproof glass.
I said who looks better. That has nothing to do with the rest of what
No,
you
but it comes into play, right? If Thanos just
It doesn't, though.
You know when Thanos sat on his chair and
Yeah.
watched the universe,
Sure.
do
I'm
its
talking
thing?
about who looks better. I'm not talking about anything else
listen,
about them.
hear me out, right? When he was sitting on the chair and watching people
Yes,
get his
yes,
job done,
yes.
he was dressed way more nicely because he had people doing his job for him, right? Just like Valentine, he has people doing job for him. But now Thanos actually has to go out and do the shit for himself.
And what you're saying has absolutely nothing to do with what I proposed.
No, but
I
there's
said which character looks better. I'm not talking about anything about what they're doing.
like dress wise or just
Yes, just dress rise, obviously.
I'll go with Thanos every time. Just that one, whatever he's wearing, that tight spandex shit looks way cooler. I love it. Spandex over the suit, man. Spandex over the suit
Okay, well,
shows your muscles. Shows the buffness of that ginormous tight he is.
whatever.
Genetically,
Engineered Ballsack Chin.
Yeah, I think all Titan was Bald Sack but
Okay.
but it's just I think he's just made to be stronger.
Sure.
You know when he says, "I am here. You can't run from destiny, and
Yeah.
destiny always catches up with you."
Okay.
And I am here. That scene with the Thor.
Yeah.
He's referring to the oldest prophecy that the Marvel universe talked about,
Okay.
where Thanos is prophesized in most religions to come and do this,
Yeah.
to take away, pillage people's, So he is part of the Marvel universe destiny.
Okay.
He's bound to happen. It's kind of like a power dynamic, I was thinking about it the other day. I'm rewatching the Marvel series right now.
Yeah.
So the next movie I watch is the End Game. I'm gonna spoil for people if you haven't seen it. It's okay, but it makes you think. He's just such a power factor. Like the
Yeah.
first time he arrives in Wakanda, everyone just shakes in fear. He's like, "Holy fuck, he's here!"
Yeah.
That's like a big bro moment. All right, enough about Marvel. Where was I even going with this?
I don't know.
I started talking about something and I completely lost my thought factor. Anyway, that's what I get for going on tangents. All right,
Yeah.
so going on to relevancy, let's talk a little about space. Let's talk a little about space
All right.
because I like space.
Yeah, you like space.
And Elon Musk, I kind of like his idea, but what he's doing, the free internet, and he's setting up a network with satellites to basically give everyone like the best, strongest internet ever.
Sure.
His Starlink satellites,
Yeah.
right, setting up, and he just launched 143 satellites, right? Greatest launch ever. 143 satellites in one
Yeah.
rocket, amazing, right? Almost to his goal.
Yeah.
But the biggest leading conversation that we can kind of relate to the movie Wall-E, right?
Yeah.
Where when Wall-E first leaves, he crashes into a wall of satellites, right? And put away the phone, please.
I'm listening to
I'm
you.
gonna give dead air until you put it the phone. Okay, thank you. I want 100% of you here.
Okay.
So you don't remember the first time when Wally leaves the planet?
Yes.
He's like hits the wall of satellites. He gets Sputnik on his face.
He only leaves once.
Yeah, it's the one time.
So why do you make a point of saying once? He only leaves once.
I guess. Okay, you're right. But
So while he leaves, yes.
when he leaves,
Gets a face full of satellite debris.
yep, that's what we're trying to warn people about right now. And Elon Musk is kind of like playing up a little bit. He's just playing callously. He's like, it won't be too much problem. It won't be too. But if you look at the map of how many satellites and just astronomical humanly bodies that are put up in
Yeah.
orbits, it exceeds anything you can ever imagine. Like, and these bodies include screws, screwdrivers,
Yeah.
wrenches, any human tools that
Whatever got lost in space.
got lost in space. Any debris from satellites crashed. Any debris from satellite got decommissioned by missiles and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right. And people worried
Yeah.
because it can cause the domino effect situation where a satellite debris hits one satellite, multiplies. Now there's like 50,000 different shrapnels
Right.
heading at like really fast speed, 20,000 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And now that hits other satellites.
Right. With no stop.
Yeah, and then chain reaction into just a wall of debris around Earth.
Yeah.
That's going to be floating, and now then it won't allow us to leave planets. Won't allow us to send anything up there.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of situation they're kind of getting worried about. Is at what point we need to start taking more and more precautions and stop sending satellites up there.
Yeah.
Because it's great that he's doing this stuff. Like he's having his like strongest network of satellites building Wi-Fi. It's great.
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to lead into space garbage problem where we're going to be stuck here. And if the climate change really kicks up,
Yeah.
he won't be able to build his society on Mars.
Right. The whole idea of trying to leave Earth.
Yeah, he won't be able to do any of that.
Yeah.
And so that's like the biggest debate. What do you think? I mean, what's your thought on all this? Do you think we should be kind of pushing the boundary a little bit?
I think space exploration is
I mean, it's not just exploration anymore. We're just like putting up satellites. Like we're pushing that boundary of domino links. You know what I mean?
I mean, it depends on what the purpose of the satellites.
It's to give people stronger Wi-Fi, and it basically give all the Tesla cars better GPS and networking, so they can auto drive and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't have a standpoint on that. The idea of like space exploration, I think, is a noble goal. I think it's an interesting one. However,
I mean, it's a step towards making us a more progressive civilization.
right. But I mean, like on a global scale, I think it's an interesting idea. Or something to obtain. However, I don't want it to be seen as let's have space exploration because the planet is dying or there's problems on Earth. I want us to actually solve the climate problem, and the fact that we're doing space exploration or just like trying to live on a different planet is just something we're trying to do, and not because we can't be on Earth.
I mean, if you
know what I'm
don't,
saying?
yeah, if you don't end up solving the global problem, the
Yeah.
climate change problem, it'll eventually get to the point where you got the money, then you can leave, or you stuck dying on a dying planet.
Right. But that's my point, is that I don't like the idea that it's one or the other.
Yeah,
I feel like we should fix Earth. And the idea of, and again, I know, like, the first time we put a man on the moon, there was this whole space race and everything else going on. But I want the future of space exploration to be at least somewhat of what that idea was when we put a man on the moon. Of this is humans trying to achieve something bigger than ourselves, to expand out into the universe, to expand outward,
to become a face to
Yes.
civilization.
and not this whole the planet is dying, we have to leave.
Yeah,
I want us to fix the planet. I want it to be sustainable. And separately from that, I want us to be able to go out and explore space and potentially generations from now be on different planets.
yeah.
I think that'd be amazing.
Like, I think there's a couple things we need to solve on planet Earth first before we need to get to that. Like clean energy is a big thing, right?
And that's what I'm saying. There should be.
Like clean energy is a main goal. We already got a fusion reactor,
Yeah.
almost in works. Once that fusion reactor kicks on, that's gonna be a lot of goddamn energy. That's like sun,
Yeah.
building a sun inside a
Right.
donut, right? That gives us so much energy.
Right.
It breaks that it breaks that kind of the additional law of environment where
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 2,
Right.
where it's gonna basically go 1 + 1 = 5 or 1 + 1 = 8.
Right. But I think there's a point to be made. Is kind of people always talk about issues and or respond to certain like social issues, particularly with well, how can you focus on that when this is going on? And people, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of different important issues that all need work. Something like climate change is something that needs to be focused on because it is a problem. But people act like you can't work on multiple things at the same time.
Yeah, it's either 100% or nothing mindset,
Yeah, and I don't
Which
understand that because
don't work.
constantly everybody, the certain countries, governments are constantly doing multiple things at the same time. I mean, don't get me wrong. We might see more like bigger things get accomplished if
Yeah.
like everything went to like one thing at a time. But even still,
Yeah, it's it.
it's not like like because you can imagine like well, the climate change, fix the planet first. I'm like, yeah, sure, but it's not like we can't be doing two things at the same time.
Yep.
And I don't think you mentioned it, so this is kind of a good segue. Like you said, we need like right now, Joe Biden's doing a lot for climate change and the environment, which is a
Yeah.
very good thing. And one of the things of note that's been in the news is apparently he has a moon rock in the Oval Office.
Yep.
I'm hoping it signifies something to the tune of Biden's interest in space and all that, and potentially
So
like some organization like NASA will have a very slightly bigger budget.
no. So
Yes,
Biden
unless I'm misunderstanding your notes here.
no. So Biden officially requested this this rock from NASA.
Yeah,
And it's a symbol to remind us that the great things we did back in
yeah,
you know, back in 1969
Yeah.
when we put the back one, the 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 problems we had to face and all
Yeah.
the challenges we had to do to put a man on the moon, but we did it.
Yeah.
And it's the symbol that no matter how distraught and fragmented the economy is,
Yeah.
they can
We can achieve greatness once again.
yeah, exactly. It's that whole mindset. And that's why it's a great segue into why that whole Oval Office, mindset is just great. And it's
Yeah.
just something we've needed for the last 4 years instead of it's your fault, it's my fault. You should figure it out yourself. It's not my problem. I didn't do anything wrong. Stuff like that, you
Yeah.
know? Instead of saying I did something great, it should have been we did something great or we're in problem and we
Right.
need to get through this together.
The mark of a good leader is
You start
giving praise and taking responsibility.
yeah. It should be
Or no, but giving praise and taking blame.
it should be we begin this
Yeah.
presidency together and
Yeah.
we'll go through it and end it together.
Right.
That should be the mindset instead of I won
Right,
the
which is,
presidential
again,
race.
Yeah,
and
something
I'm
you
the
heard from Trump
greatest.
all the time. You and talking about like we mostly he's usually like, "Oh, look at what I did this, I did that."
Yep. Like we as an administration means I achieved something to his mindset.
Yeah,
Which is a really, really I don't know, I just feel like it's just really toxic. And
It
I
is.
think this change is it's well needed and I hope it brings greatness. And I've been waiting for it for a long time.
yeah,
I think we all have been.
yeah. I'm curious. I'm hoping we don't get too complacent in this idea that because we've all been wanting things to get back to
Normal.
I won't say normalcy, but lacking insanity. That we don't become blind to stuff that potentially
Okay.
Biden does wrong that we don't like.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think most people are in that boat that like they're not going to blindly follow.
Yeah.
And actually, I've seen posts about this where people talk about you're so anti-Trump, but I never see you post anything about Biden. Like, and people talk about, well, yeah, I'm not like just people like will go out of their way to be like pro-Trump and pro that, and when people are anti-Trump, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're pro-Biden all the way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen that come up quite a few times.
I think we're on that cautious line right now where we
Yeah.
need to keep in
Like
check
I like
of
what he's
Biden.
doing, but like I always want to know, make sure I still, actually.
He lines with your idea of how we should run a government.
Yeah,
Which is righteously and fairly instead of it's
I'd say fairly and moving toward, more open and progressive ideas. I'm not sure how I would define the word righteously in this context to use it.
yeah, you're right. What I meant to say is like keeping people in mind instead of
Yeah,
himself in mind.
course.
Like doing it for the people of America. But I think that's just we should just put it right there because if you keep talking about it, the conversation is going to keep getting longer and longer. Let's actually just talk about how I binge shit because I think I just found it really kind of interesting.
okay.
So there's so many subscriptions now, and
You mean like just streaming services?
yeah, like
Netflix,
Apple,
Hulu, was it Peacock,
Showtime,
Prime, Showtime? Every
Peacock's-
news channel seems to have their own thing now.
Peacock's different
Okay.
because you can watch a lot of shows free with ads on.
Yeah.
And the only time you will ever need to buy a subscription is if you need to, get rid of the ads or download a show.
Okay.
Yeah, and it starts with $4.99. So
Yeah.
that's a much more, affordable
Yes.
streaming service.
The thing you actually caught me doing on my phone right now,
Yeah.
when you told me to get off,
Yeah.
was trying to cancel one of my subscriptions. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
We'll do it after.
No,
do it after.
no, the only subscription I'm on is Prime, and my household has Netflix, so it's not coming out of my account.
Let's count it down. There's Apple, Netflix, Hulu, Showtime, Prime,
HBO,
HBO Max,
yeah, Stars,
Stars is one.
Disney Plus.
Yeah. What else? I think that's pretty much all. There's
No,
probably
there's
more.
more. There's Peacock. There's like another one.
Peacock.
There's a bunch of
Peacock's
these
affordable.
fringe ones too. Honestly,
Fringe ones?
like just fringe streaming services that don't get a lot of publicity.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot. But these.
Another one I actually weirdly have on there is Tubi, I think.
Tubi.
Tubi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some of these side ones.
Yeah.
But so this is how I stream stuff.
Comcast.
Usually I like research.
Yeah.
the
Also,
shows
Comcast and ESPN have networks. As
that
well.
too now.
Yeah.
But there's a bundles though.
Yeah.
There's like ESPN, sport bundles, stuff like that.
Right.
Well, here's what I do. I usually research the shows I want to watch. Right now, there's two shows I want to watch on three shows I want to watch on Apple,
Yeah.
and I'll eventually get a subscription for like a month and cancel it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a month of subscription and I'm good.
Yeah.
So there's a show called Of All Mankind or something like that.
Okay.
It's where instead of NASA winning the space race, Russia won.
Okay.
Like they put the man on the moon
Yeah.
1st, and how they're recovering from that.
Okay.
Then there's Dickinson, which is about Emily Dickinson, the poet.
Yeah.
That show is great.
Okay.
And the next show that I found really amusing to watch was The Morning Show, which is with Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell, where Steve Carell's basically like sexual harassment, like harassing a person
Yeah.
who's basically overseen by a lot of his employees because he's so famous, has been at the news channel for so long. Basically, like what Ellen's claims
Yeah.
were,
Okay.
where there's since she's so popular at the station, she
Yeah.
basically gets get away with a lot of sexual harassment stuff that's been going on at the channel, stuff like that. So those three shows,
Yeah.
great for me.
Yeah.
And I usually just try to research which streaming service has the shows I want to watch.
Yeah.
And I just quickly just buy it for a month, binge the shit out of it. But I only buy it when I have the time.
Right.
Like during breaks, summer,
Of course. Yeah.
like Christmas, stuff like that. Never doing the school the year when I'm
Yeah.
working because I know I won't be able to watch it and it's a
Right.
waste of money. And
Yeah.
plus, I might be able to watch some new shows once I'm done with those. That's a binge fest.
I haven't really been binging all that much lately.
It's a time thing. You've been working
Yeah.
a lot and it's
That's true.
no time to like you come home and you play
Also,
it.
I've been having trouble trying to start new shows. Like I can't get into them really. I keep trying. It's not working out.
It's
What is it?
it's because a lot of shows these days have been built around a very dull morale. It's not
Yeah.
very interesting.
What was it? You mentioned the show about with Russia won the space race, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Of All Mankind.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it reminds me, there was a show I tried to watch, like an alternate sci-fi history show, called The Man in the High Tower, where the Nazis won World War II. And I
Oh.
tried watching it, and it looked really good. And this whole thing about like parallel worlds or something.
Yeah.
But then I got into it, and then I'm like, the synopsis does not match what it is, because I think there's only like 3 seasons,
Okay.
and I got to like almost to the end of season 2, and it never really held my attention. And then I'm coming to like realize like, okay, what the trailer showed me and what the synopsis told me is not necessarily the basis, and not even till like really almost halfway into season 2 are we starting to get the gist of the whole parallel world thing or how that even works. And as far as I can tell, they only did 3 seasons. Because the whole idea is like the synopsis of what basically was told is like in an alternate history or parallel world, the Nazis won World War II.
Yeah.
Them and the Japanese divided the country,
Yeah.
and then they figure out a way to transport to a parallel world, and they try to take over America,
Okay.
the version that won in the parallel world.
Okay.
Keep in mind, this all holds to the same timeline, so it's not like a jump in years. It's still
It's confusing.
in the same year as the actual war.
Yeah.
Just to keep that in mind. And now I'm like, wait a minute. We're in season 2. This show does not seem to be what it promised.
Yeah.
This is not how
It's
it's
like
described.
Wolfenstein. It promised to be Wolfenstein.
And then I'm not interested. I'm not invested enough in these characters.
they need to build up on it.
Yeah. And then there was like, recently I tried, because that's COVID and stuff, I've been home with my mom lately. We tried to like get into a few shows, and they all had the same problem. I'm not invested in characters.
It's because a lot of these shows try to like build up upon the main theme of the show instead of the characters that leading
There's-
up to it.
But some of the characters, I find myself like, I don't care if they die, and that to me like has to be the benchmark. I need at least one character that I care what happens to them,
Yep.
and I don't.
Like Fringe was a great show.
Yes.
Where they built the characters, there was a background to them, they were
Right.
enjoyable, fun to lovable.
A lot of older shows I feel like had just better writing to them a lot of the time, and a lot of new shows and new movies just don't have that. You don't connect with characters.
Yeah.
Particularly like the King Kong movie that came out, Skull Island.
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
Yeah.
It on a multiple points. Like the idea that Kong being scary felt like it wasn't like because Kong is always kind of shown to be a bit terrifying at first. I feel.
Yeah. But I think
And at no point was that kind of represented enough. There was not that because there's so like old movie.
he was more of a religious figure in this movie.
Yeah, but like there's old movie techniques about how to make a creature seem scary. And they almost never use those. They almost immediately showed Kong, which is never how you make something terrifying. Like the audience knows, but it doesn't mean you can't still build that feeling of oh yikes,
Like,
shit like
they,
this. You know.
they did a good job at one point, and then they completely reverted back. Where
Yeah.
we and Nick talked about this a lot. Where there's a scene where in the beginning,
Right.
there's a Japanese guy
Right.
and an American guy fighting on the island,
Right.
and you see Kong's face in the sword, and then they should have cut it right there, but then
Right.
they go out of their way to show his face.
Right, not something they should have done. But there's multiple times in the film, like we all know, like all right, it's CGI and they
Yep.
did like fake in studio stuff. But there is scenes almost like they're in like the thick jungle or woods or whatever.
Yeah,
And I swear, if you put a pause in and just look at it a little longer, you can almost see exactly where the set stops and the backdrop is. I don't know, like none of the characters had a lot of depth,
yeah,
and there was multiple of them. They split them into groups during the film, but you don't end up caring about anybody. The one character who has like some I don't know background about his father, or whatever, is
Yeah.
like is thrown in really fast.
the soldier.
Yeah, basically one of the biggest things though is like for usually good films, it helps to introduce a little bit of backstory to characters before
Yeah.
bringing them on the main adventure.
Like,
But for this one, all the backstory was brought in during the main adventure, not like
the original King Kong had the lady who, they had a backstory about it where she continuously failed like auditions and stuff like that. So she was struggling in the career, so she took in a film, quote unquote film,
you're talking about Jack Black.
Jack Black version,
Not necessarily the original. Not
Okay,
a lot of people like
not-
it. One of my favorites, but still.
not the
But you make a
original.
point, like,
original.
Right, but you're right. This
Yeah.
one that is a good movie on the count of all the characters.
Minus the
before-
dinosaurs.
Yeah, before the main action,
Yeah,
we see them. We kind of get an idea of what kind of people they are,
Mm-hmm.
their ideas, their motivations, and then we throw them in. This
Yeah.
movie did none of that. A lot of things like they played on tropes and then got rid of them, which is interesting. Particularly the soldiers who were just cannon fodder. There's one scene like, all right, let's get the big 50 cal gun on top of whatever,
and then instantly
and then 2
died.
minutes later, poof, things whacked around.
Yeah.
The guy that's like, all right, I have like a sash full of grenades, whatever thing is. He's like, I'm gonna blow myself up. He's holding out like 2 grenades in each hand. He's like waiting for the guy thing, like sitting out there. Creature walks up on him, whacks him with his tail,
Yeah.
throws him into a rock wall, and he blows up. Like, well, that meant nothing. And it's constant moments like that.
Yeah,
But like even like the idea like Kong falls in love with the woman, it's like even that moment doesn't.
but in this movie he didn't.
he didn't, and even like I think they were supposed to have some little connection or something.
Okay, but that's the next
It
movie we're
wasn't
going to
there,
talk about.
right? That is the next movie,
Which I
for
think that's
Godzilla
better.
versus
That is
Kong.
better.
probably.
Because I don't want to have that kind of romantic,
Right.
relationship between Kong and a woman.
True, but I don't know. The movie just was lacking so many points, and like now we have Godzilla versus Kong.
Like, okay, so
Right.
there's 2 main characters in this movie, 3.
For which one?
For the newer King Kong movie,
Okay,
with Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston, right?
yeah.
They were good actors.
I don't
lot of
think
potential.
they had good characters.
I
I don't feel like they had good characters. I didn't find any good writing.
Yeah. I think there was potential to make those characters great if they had written them better.
Yeah, there was.
but they just kind of farted around the main idea
Yeah.
too much.
So and now Kong is going to be in the movie Godzilla versus King Kong. Or Godzilla
Yes,
versus Kong. But here's the thing: the first Godzilla movie, not too bad.
I actually like that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. My only complaint with it is you don't see Godzilla till like more than halfway through the movie, really.
Yeah.
But no, not a bad film. The second one, dumpster fire, as
Which
far as I'm
one? The
concerned.
King Ghidorah one?
Yeah, was it Godzilla and the
The King of all
King of
monsters.
Monsters?
Yeah, where he turns into a living nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
Which it was a cool scene, by the way. It's an
Don't get me
amazing
wrong, there
scene.
were cool scenes, but it just felt like I think the idea of for this film it got too much because like with all the monsters and Godzilla, I felt like the human element, the human characters,
Yeah.
fell by the wayside, weren't as important.
Yeah.
They didn't seem like they mattered,
Like the one of the main characters in this movie.
or there wasn't connection enough with them to make them feel important to
Yeah.
what was actually going on in their world.
Like one of the main characters in this movie is 11, the girl 11.
Yeah, from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
And I
Millie
thought-
Bobby Brown.
Yeah, and when I started hearing trailers, I'm like, okay, she's gonna have like a bigger part in this movie, maybe.
By the way, I don't.
And like she's gonna be this new kind of like sci-fi girl for
Yeah.
film going forward. If
I
that's
should
where her
I should
career
make
goes.
clear that I don't like 11 at all, even the character 11. Okay,
You mean Millie Bobby Brown?
Millie Bobby Brown as that character is great. She does a good acting, but she's portrayed as obnoxious and as 11. And even in this movie, she's just like, I am too bold. I'm gonna take on the world by myself. Let me go hype up what's it called Godzilla, and then goes completely out of his wit. Starts crying on the.
I feel
It's
like you should watch Enola Holmes.
Enola Holmes.
And or no, I'm thinking of the same name, right? Yeah. So Netflix recently launched a new kind of riff on Sherlock Holmes, and basically, Millie plays Sherlock Holmes's younger sister.
Okay.
But it's still in the same time period, all that stuff, and she kind of is that similar detective
psychotic
vibe
one?
to him. Not psychotic like him per se, but from that family.
Oh, come on. The whole idea of Sherlock Holmes is he has a sister who is basically a megalomaniac. Like, that is the whole portrayal
But
of in
understand,
the
this
books.
is her, but again, she's much younger than him. So in this movie, she's still a kid. From what I understand, they plan on doing, I think like at least like half a dozen more of these, or so, or like I know like 4 or 5 or whatever. But it was actually a really well done film.
I'll be judging
It's
that.
one of these longer films, so there's more story to it. But I know they plan on building on it, and it got a lot of love actually.
I'll
Being
be
well
the judge of
liked,
that.
well watched, and particularly one of the things that was mentioned in news articles was it had a lot better representation for like feminism, female empowerment in a good way,
Okay.
more than actual modern, films that take place in modern times did.
Okay. Like better than Ghostbusters.
Sure, I'm not like that, but like
Oh God.
because it takes place in a time period where there were actual problems, and a large part of the film, like the side, is this group of women that's trying to have their voices be heard, and through potentially terrorist acts and such. But there's definitely more to the film to happen, or more
Yeah.
of the story that's going to happen in the next few films if it continues.
I think the only thing I kind of enjoyed in the previous Godzilla, the King of all monsters, was
Yeah.
the portrayal of Ghidorah. You know,
Okay.
like they showed him strong. They showed him that he can defeat Godzilla. He
Yeah.
did defeat him at one point. Spoilers, everybody. So it's all spoilers.
Yeah.
Listening to this podcast, you're gonna get spoilers. And he defeats Ghidorah. Like they show Ghidorah as this like huge, like magnanimous creature that is just completely maniacal. Like
Yeah.
he's the only thing that drives for him is destruction. And then we shift to Godzilla, who defeats him and then becomes the king of monsters.
Right.
And then they cut off, and now So now I'm gonna make a transition into the trailer we saw,
Yeah.
Godzilla versus King Kong, where Godzilla just turns into that maniacal monster. He just
Basically, although here's the thing, part of that trailer, and again, it could be Godzilla just not thinking and not caring, or it could have been intentional.
He's just ego
But like
built now.
that scene where like he's like on top of the water,
Yeah.
and his like scales or whatever, the
Yeah.
spikes rip through that ship.
Yeah.
That feels like something that could have just been, oops.
But in the previous movies, he's been caring enough to go under the ships and stuff
That
like
is
that.
very true. Yeah.
But this time, he's just like, you know what? Fuck
Forget
you.
that.
You're in my way.
Just gonna go
bitch.
through it.
Your ship is now 2 ships.
Yeah.
That's
basically.
actually a junk boat now. Get the hell out of here. And he just starts. And okay, first, and then he just ends up climbing the ship where.
Oh yeah, so there's this lovely, insane scene where Kong and Godzilla are both battling, standing on an aircraft carrier,
like multiple tons of weight on one aircraft carrier, just standing.
probably thousands of tons,
Thousands,
hundreds of thousands of tons.
hundreds of thousands of tons at this
Yeah.
point. Like, just the boat's just like, you know what? I'm the boss of boats. I'm just gonna take all the weight over here.
I believe
Let's just
earlier
turn
you
me
said
into
what'd you say earlier? The boss of buoyancy.
yeah, the boss of buoyancy. Where he's just the boat is basically like an arena turned into an arena for monsters.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you guys want to fight? Do it on me. Come on, I am the. And then there's a different trailer if you haven't seen the first one, where he just gets lasered in half.
What?
The aircraft carrier just
Yeah,
gets
it
lasered
does.
in half because
Although, let's be honest, I think in a strictly water battle in the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
Kong loses.
yeah, okay, yeah, but because he's a lizard, like he's adapted to no, like the Godzilla is a lizard.
Because at that point, Godzilla will probably like, lockjaw on just like a limb and drag him down underwater.
Fuck lockjaw, you can just slap him with his tail and he'd be like,
No, because I'm sure
unconscious.
they think like Kong could swim. I'm trying to like literally just grab on, and start swimming down with him
Yeah,
and drown
yeah.
him.
But I don't know how used to the water he is, you know?
Who?
Kong, because
Probably not.
Yeah.
Used to it. That's what I'm saying. He would just drown him.
yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, one of the scenes I didn't quite see is Godzilla using his breath. Like, he's just not using his laser fire.
He does. We
But
literally see a scene where he
in the end
blows up
scene,
the boat. Yeah.
in the end scene. But okay, and there was an unexplained one scene where Kong is seen with a weapon that's kind of like, it's just, I guess it's advanced enough to repel the fire.
I think there's like what's going on in this film is that the humans are basically using like, because they say we need Kong to survive what's coming or whatever.
Yeah,
And I think with that little girl that knows him,
yeah.
my guess is they use her to get Kong to use the weapon they give him.
I guess.
And I know there's also something about in the trailer about like, I guess there was like this all-out war with monsters, and Kong and Godzilla are the
But,
last survivors.
Look, they're gonna do the cliche shit all the time, where
Yeah.
the monster that's on their side like tries to fight the first time,
Yeah.
takes a bad beat, and then there's this main character that kind of like
most likely. Here's
hypes
the
them
thing.
up.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see it. We might go see it together. I'm hoping we do it in
Yeah,
theaters.
we do. We'll do
Because I honestly miss movie theaters so much.
I do too, and this is I
And,
actually been waiting for this.
Yeah. But the other thing is, though, I have no good expectations for this movie. I'm going to go in hoping for the best.
But expecting the worst.
I'm expecting a shit show.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be as bad as the second Godzilla or Kong. I think there's going to be like a few fight scenes I'll really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping this actually does better, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting much from it.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, I'm expecting nothing. I'm not expecting any good dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm expecting spectacular fight scenes.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, it is a Godzilla movie. I mean, they've been known to suck in the past.
Yeah.
What can you say?
So
All
we'll
right,
see.
that's. I think it's time to get started with the debate.
Oh, right.
The leading debate.
Yeah.
Nick is King Kong, Team Kong over here. I am Team Zella. All right, so Nick.
Now, I will admit, if it's a water battle, Kong doesn't stand a chance.
No, you gotta. So, you gotta first start with like all the points you got. So it's gonna be like a real debate where you make a point, I make a point, you counter,
As someone
I
who
counter.
enjoys debates, I can't really make solid points. I think it's just I'm more preferential to King Kong over Godzilla.
Just logic it. Just straight up logic it. Just straight up norm logic, like a monkey, like he's a giant monkey. Norm logic that. All right, I'm gonna start because then it gives you an idea of what we're doing, right?
Sure.
All right, point for Team Zilla. Okay, Godzilla, he's a giant lizard. He's got scales. He can puncture King Kong with those. He can just backslam him, King Kong, and he'll just be super
Yeah.
he's usually be super in pain. He got fire. He got laser fire.
Okay.
And if he really needed to, he can go back into his cave, soak up all that radiation. He's a nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's got little arms. You know, he can't really punch that much.
He
can.
kind of does. No, he has decent sized arms.
I mean, he can grab and like
Yeah.
kind of.
See, you
stuff.
want this to be a debate. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I think Godzilla would win. I'm just saying I preferred if Kong won.
But no, you gotta make a point of why he would win. Like
I don't have a point to why he would. I don't think he would win. I'm saying I want him to because I like Kong better.
this is not a debate.
I'm sorry. I thought I should have explained that sooner.
You keep this going. Like, keep the show live. Come on. Why do you think he'll win? Kong, go. Your point.
Well, first, from the trailer, from what we can tell, apparently the humans are making him weapons that apparently, I guess, deflect whatever Godzilla can do.
Laser fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing of note from what we've seen from Godzilla from these movies is the one of the number one advantages that Kong has on him is Godzilla is a tank,
Yeah.
but Kong has the mobility.
Yup. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, tanks, they get that one good shot off and you're down, but you have the maneuverability, you keep moving.
But he's got the armor. He's got the armor.
He does.
Yeah.
So I will be curious to see how Kong goes about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's got thin skin. He can get like hurt really off.
Oh, yeah,
badly
he
with
can.
the fire. Okay. I
But
gotta counter
we will-
that now.
Well,
Shit.
actually, in the movies we've seen of him for this one, though, he took quite a bit of shots with
But I think he's bigger now because back in
Oh
the
yeah, he's
first
grown
movie,
since then. Yeah.
he was a kid.
Yeah, that's right.
So now he's maybe an adult.
Right.
Godzilla's just like a grandpa over there, just super
Yeah.
old veteran. And they talk something about a war in this movie, which I was really
Right, in the
confused about.
past.
So I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's a war between King Kong versus monsters.
Right. Because remember, Kong had family. He had other people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you're
and he's
more
the
of them.
lone survivor.
Yeah.
The lone survivor.
So with that movie, though, they talk about like the creatures that lived in the ground. So you have to wonder where I'm gonna say the Kongs. Did Kongs fight against every monster that was underground, including Godzilla, in that sense?
yeah,
Possibly. And that's the war they're talking about?
because
I could see
He's
that.
not
I don't
just-
know for sure, but that feels like it could be the case.
Kong versus Godzilla doesn't mean just Godzilla. It just means the whole posse of monsters.
Right.
It means
And if that's the case,
Yeah.
then I think there's a good chance Kong can win. Again, I don't have all the information or like the back. Like
you mean
the
Godzilla can win?
No, Kong.
Why would Kong win? Because Godzilla's got his whole posse of monsters against Kong. So Kong versus like
Does he still
7
have
monsters.
them? Or no, they're all
What?
gone.
No, because you see in the scene he's like backslamming like flying whatever that like monster is, that lava flying thing.
I thought Godzilla and Kong are the last two left at this point.
I think
time.
he will defeat him. I think that's just like a few foreshadowing. Maybe there's like a plot twist. Maybe he comes back and like
We'll see. But like
yeah.
if the Kong's race or whatever has been fighting this war,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe there's something like I'm not aware of that he can pull it out for this fight.
yeah.
But again, also Godzilla is the last survivor from, or more or less last survivor from this war. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think I like the story of them existing. We're gonna end the debate right there.
Yeah.
It's not a debate. We just made some points.
Yeah.
I think this podcast has been going longer than it needed, but we're just gonna keep it going.
Yeah.
I like the story of these monsters existing as gods before. Like they weren't just like in the previous Godzilla movie. Like it was an accident. Like it just made by an accident by nuclear blast or some stuff.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of whole like he's a god. Like he's been existing underneath the tunnels of Earth. Like they've been all existed,
Yeah.
frozen in time. That's a beautiful story. I feel like if they just portrayed it properly and have adjustable characters, like they
Yeah.
had the main guy. They had the guy from the old Godzilla movie. You know,
In what movie?
in the old like Godzilla movie where there's a bunch of eggs and they're fighting. You know that the Asian dude who goes Godzilla, and
Oh wait,
he
are
he
you
was
talking about the one in New York City?
yeah, but
You mean the one that's called Godzilla that everybody hates for the sole fact that it's called Godzilla?
yeah,
You can't reference that one in this
but
discussion.
but
You
it's
can't. No, I'm sorry.
but the main character from that is in here.
Okay. My point is that the Godzilla fandom can't stand that movie on the sole account that it's called
I
Godzilla.
understand, but
Other than that, it's a phenomenal movie.
I understand that, but these Godzilla movies are supposed to be sequel to those. That is the whole origins of it because that Asian actor.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I forget your name.
Yep.
But he knows so much about Godzilla and these monsters because he's been learning about these as he go. He was the first one to question the old man with the fire, and he's like Godzilla, and then he's been learning about the eggs and stuff like that.
We'll see.
So I'm assuming that the previous Godzilla movie, the people hate, was a female Godzilla, and now it's a male Godzilla.
It's not the same.
But it's supposed to be like portrayed as a sequel. I don't know why this is dumb.
It's not supposed to because nothing in that movie refers to like this old society.
Except the main
it's
guy.
Strictly
Except the main
about
actor.
just nuclear testing, not
No,
this
like
whole.
the main actor even references it at some point, which was like shitty.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just stupid. Anywho, I think we're done. We're gonna wrap
Yeah.
up here because we're going pretty much past our time.
Mm-hmm.
Once we see Godzilla vs Kong, I think we're gonna have a more talk about on
Oh yeah, definitely will.
how shitty the movie was or how good it was.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
I think we'll have to talk about good fight scenes in a bad movie,
yep,
like
yeah,
kind of like Suicide Squad.
pretty much.
Yep.
It's like that meme, right? Like you see all, like all the main characters, all the characters in Suicide Squad on the barrel of Will Smith's gun, and everyone's being carried by Will Smith's acting. That's basically how it's gonna be. Like these CGI for these monsters is gonna
Yeah.
be carrying the shitty actors.
Basically.
Well, not actors, but shitty characters.
Yeah,
I
pretty
should say.
much.
Yeah. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. We'll guys see you. Can't even talk. We'll see you guys Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Remember, today is tomorrow for us. Today for you guys is the Remembrance Day for the Holocaust. So if you will, please say something nice, say something honoring.
Yeah.
It would be really nice to honor all those who died in the Holocaust. It's a very
Mourn.
big tragedy, but
Yeah.
a good day to speak your heart about the tragic events that happened.
Yeah.
Fuck Hitler. Fuck Hitler.
Sure.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And if you guys like, follow us hit that follow button on the Spotify.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get
Yes,
so many
we'll
of
be
these.
on YouTube soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of video podcasts we need to upload
Yes.
in time, but hopefully we can get that done. You guys can enjoy this on YouTube. So when we do, hit that subscribe button, and when we do, I'll link it in. I'll change all the descriptions for our podcast and
course.
link the YouTube channel so you guys can find it through there. But thank you, everyone. We don't have no more coffee left, so we're not gonna take a final sip because I got like a tiny sip, and Nick's got none. Nick's just dry air. So
Nothing.
if you were there and you want to take a final sip, please do so. We're done, and we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, good day, whatever it is, and bye bye. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.